Do you know the definition of insanity? It is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it is exactly what I do when I make my country guides. I test these runs over and over and over again to make sure they are absolutely consistent. But the other thing that is insane here is what we were able to achieve with Finland. Starting as a minor and getting in 1941 to controlling all of the world, or the part that matters at least, the part that we wanted, with 1,235 factories. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Finland was a tier 3 member request, and as it often happens, I'm very glad I got it. I had never played Finland before, and well, it's absolutely amazing. This is a guide you cannot miss. In my country guides, I often struggle to find the optimal path to success, as Finland the only struggle was choosing among equally amazing options to destroy our opponents. In the end, what we're going for today is the Fascist Finland path, which offers incredibly smooth early expansion, minor RNG, and plenty of options to deal with all majors later in the run. If that sounds interesting, then this is the right video for you. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comments and make sure to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. And of course guys, if you're enjoying the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and leaving me a comment. Anything is fine, but comments really help the algorithm. And that's all for the introduction, so let's get started with Finland. As usual guys, all of the researches and focuses will be in the description of the video, so they will not be covered in the video itself, and you can get access to the dedicated spreadsheet by purchasing a tier 2 membership to the channel. Test. Okay. There isn't much we can do for now in terms of buildings, but this is our priority, and this is the production priority. The navy is actually free, but convoys can be useful later on. We're going to gather and train our divisions. I'm also going to set the occupation load to local police force and cavalry just for later. We're also going to gather and train our navy. And that's the initial setup, and that's the setup already done, so we can start. As you complete the focus, you will get enough political power to get a motion of no confidence against our current governor. So let's get rid of him. And this is particularly important because we were taking a big... This is particularly important to get rid of the huge malus to political power gain we had. Our next priority at 75 political power is to pick the fascist demagogue. We need fascism support to rise as fast as possible, as of course we are going for fascist Finland. If you did everything correctly, you will have enough fascism support to pick these two decisions before you complete this focus. It's very important that you do it before completing the focus. As once the focus is done, we will be in a civil war. If you did everything correctly, this is a very, very easy civil war. Now at this point we can also pick a very early war economy. And we are going to entice the masses right away to get rid of democratic and non-aligned support. This way our guy will not lose any trust. Now this is not actually a civil war that you need to fight. It's one in which you just need to rush victory point. So you get all of your units in position by using railways as fast as possible. And then you micromanage them by shift clicking. But just really a bit. Zoom in enough to see the victory points and rush these victory points. These ones are important. And then what's important is this division right here. You send it like this. And if that's done correctly, make sure that everything is going smoothly. But I don't have enough divisions, thanks to the decisions we took to counter us. So the civil war will be over in no time. That's it. Civil war done. That's a smooth one. This is the kind of civil war you want. I'm talking about you, British Raj and Azad Hind. So now we're going to send these guys at the border with... Nah, that doesn't matter actually. It's probably irrelevant. Now, after the civil war, we have a new priority. We're going to reorganize the railway system and we want to build a supply hub in this province here. So we're going to build a supply hub here. We also need to connect it. So we're going to build the railways from here. And then we also want to connect these ones here in the north. Something like this should be fine. So this will be our new highest priority, especially the supply hub. At 120 political power, we are going to pick the silent workhorse. And then at 56 political power, the Lutheran priest. get 100 army experience, we're going to pick Army Offense. And we're going to start upgrading our new agency. We want diplomatic training, then I usually take suicide pills and 3 departments. Up to 5 upgrades to get a 3rd spy. And as we get our spies, always pick the seducers, we're going to start diplomatic pressure on Stockholm and then on Oslo. We also want to start improving relations with Denmark. Nice, we got 2 seducers. That's perfect. Now, the strategy overall can be followed even without La Resistance, without the spy networks, but spies play an important role in this run more than in other runs. As soon as you complete this focus, you will be able to invite Austria into your faction. Let's do it. So we take them away from Germany. Now we also have these new special decisions, and as soon as possible we want to pressure the Danish government. Now there are 3 possible outcomes from this event. Well, let me do that again. There are 3 possible outcomes. 2 of them are bad and 1 of them is good. But we're going to force it into a bad one in this run to have the worst possible RNG, so that you can see what to do in that case. So this is the best case scenario. This is the best possible event concerning Denmark. The other 2 options are that Denmark changes to fascist, they become fascist, then you can invite them to your faction, but they will turn back into democratic and quit your faction, so you should never invite them in that case. And the final option is that they just refuse, they don't become fascist and they don't join your faction. So I will kick them from my faction later on as soon as I can, so I will show you what happens when they do not join your faction. But of course, if you are lucky enough and you get this event instead, keep it, because that's very good. Now we also want to get a non-aggression pact and improve relations with Sweden and with Norway. Also get all of the treaties to further increase relations. As soon as possible, we're also going to pick the political loyalty spirit. When can I kick them? In May, okay. At about 50 political power, we want to justify a claim on the Dutch East Indies, not on the Netherlands. Be careful about this. On the Dutch East Indies, because it generates a lot less war tension. Okay, we're getting a third spy. As soon as you get to 50 political power, you can start pressuring the Swedish government. Now, in the case of Sweden and later Norway, 2 out of the 3 options are good for us. Either they change government, then we can invite them into our faction. They join the faction directly, that's good. The only issue is if they refuse altogether. Now, that's very, very, very rare. I would say it only happens in 1 of my test runs, so a very small amount. But if that happens, I would recommend restarting the run or reloading a much earlier save, but restarting is always safer, because we do need Norway and Sweden to accept. So let's start with pressuring the Swedish government. At this point, you should also have a third spy, which we're going to use to spy the area of Hamburg in Germany. Now, I can kick Denmark from my faction. I will do it to show you the worst case scenario, but you shouldn't do it, of course. If they accepted, keep them. It's just going to be smoother for you. Now, more importantly, let's see what Sweden does. Okay, so in this case we got the second best choice. Sweden changed to Fascist. That means that very soon you will be able to invite them into your faction. They still have this neutral foreign policy perk. They will get rid of it and you will be able to invite them very soon. In the meantime, you can also pressure the Norwegian... in the meantime, you can also pressure the Norwegian government. You will get a notification when you can invite Sweden. There we go. There we go. Sweden is in our faction. Time for Norway. Norway also changed the government. That's totally good for us because we can now invite them into our faction. Perfect. So at this point, if you were very lucky, like I was, you would have Denmark, Sweden and Norway already in your faction, which means you don't need to do anything anymore. But if Denmark refused, so what we are simulating here, well, if Sweden or Norway refused completely, they don't change government, restart the run, because that's needed, but that should never happen. But that almost never happens. That's the only RNG in the run. And if Denmark refused, like we are simulating in this case, then we need to take some additional steps to take care of them. First of all, at this point, we freed our spies, so we can spy fully on... So we can fully spy on Germany. At 100 political power, we're going to pick Entice the Masses once more. We can now start making collaboration governments in Germany. We will do it on cooldown. So make sure to pick the seducers and automatically... So make sure to automatically repeat it. And if Denmark refused, like we are simulating here, we're also going to spy. We're also going to put some oh my god. We're also going to use one spy for diplomatic pressure on the United States. We're going to improve relations with the United States and get a non-aggression pact with them as soon as possible. And we're going to plan a naval invasion of Iceland. Iceland doesn't have divisions, so we can use our weakest units, and we can go from here. Let's move our fleet there as well. Keep in mind that this is not needed if Denmark accepted. Okay, non-aggression pact with the United States. That's perfect. Usual MIU priority for infantry. We'll also prepare the rest of my divisions at the border with Denmark. Now, as soon as you complete this focus, you will annex peacefully anyone who is in your faction. So in our case, that will be Sweden and Norway. If we didn't kick Denmark, then Denmark would also be part of our faction. If Denmark refused, what you want to do at this point is you want to declare war on Iceland, not on Denmark. Before that, however, in any case, we are going to build military factories in all of our 80% and 60% provinces. Including the new ones we got from including the ones we got from Norway and Sweden. By the way, guys, this is absolutely insane because all of this stuff is already our core. So we just became incredibly strong just by completing a focus, which is crazy. And we also got all of their armies. By the way, we also got their armies and their navies. We also need to adjust the production a little bit. Well, I will do it again later, sorry. Train, truck, tree. Okay, we also need to adjust our production a little bit. So this is the new production priority. Let's make a save just in case. Okay, and let's declare war on Iceland then, and immediately trigger our naval invasion. We will accept to protect Denmark, so Denmark will become our puppet. And since the United States stole Greenland, which kind of makes sense nowadays, we're also going to take Greenland back. And that's perfect. Iceland, as you can see, is not much of a challenge, so we're just going to annex them. And we're going to get ready to invade the Netherlands, which is going to be our next goal. We're going to use these, which are very cool looking. We're going to use these very cool looking divisions to invade from here to The Hague. And everyone else will take the northern coast of the Netherlands, starting from here. All the way up to here. Now we can just wait for our claim, which will come very soon. There we go. We got the claim. We can start the war on the Netherlands, or better, let's keep it on the Dutch East Indies like before. We can trigger our invasion right away. This is not a difficult invasion, but you can make it easier by micromanaging your divisions a little bit. So what you want to do is, as usual, use a force attack when disembarking. And then these two divisions here are particularly important. We want to shift click here and rush the victory points in the southern part of the Netherlands. The other very important ones are these two. You can use one to stop these guys and the other one to rush, once again, victory points. And in principle, with this setup, you should be fine. Yeah, sometimes it takes a bit longer, sometimes it's a bit longer, sometimes it's a bit shorter, but the outcome will not change. When you get to the peace conference, take the navy first, then puppet them, then take the resource rights, and finally the war reparations. Try to follow this order, otherwise you may lack the points to take everything. That's it. The Netherlands are done, which is also very beneficial for our rubber.
Käskystä!
And once you are at 200 political power, it is time to take care of Denmark. So first of all, we're going to pick this decision here. When they accept, we're going to pick this one here. And finally, we're going to annex them. Now, there is a small chance that they refuse annexation, but not in this case, they accept it. So that's perfect. In any case, if they refuse, you can just quickly invade them and end it. Now that we took care of Denmark, we can finally proclaim Nordic unity. And there we go. The Nordic Empire is already here, incredibly smooth. And this means we got cores on all of this stuff. So we control all of Scandinavia, Iceland, Greenland, and we got cores everywhere. Look at our industry. 100 factories in 100 factories in early 1938. Now it's time to build up our power even more.
Käskystä!
When you complete this focus, by the way, keep an eye on the collaboration governments. Make sure that you are making them on cooldown, which for some reason was not happening here. So make sure make sure you get 3 as fast as possible.
Valmiina!
But now with this focus, it's time to rework our divisions. But now with this focus, it's time to adjust our divisions a little bit. Also, here is the usual priority for artillery. So, to fix our armies, first of all, we're going to decommission all of them except for this cool looking one and the one we just got, this one here. So everything else we decommission. This one will become our def. And this one will become our off. It's more like Alp D, but you will see it later. Actually, yeah, actually you also want to keep a cavalry template, one without support companies ideally, which will be our cav. All right. The cav will be used for occupation. Now we want a total of 10 offensive... Oh, wait. Yeah, we'll change... This icon is very cool, but I will still change it to the usual one, so it's easier to recognize. And we want a total of 10 of these divisions, so we're going to take some... So we want a total of... So we want a total of 12 offensive divisions. So take 10 random divisions and change them into offensive, as everything else will be changed into def. So the exact amount of divisions might be slightly different. The important thing is you have 12 offensive divisions and everything else in the defensive template. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to recruit the max amount of defensive divisions. We're also going to start training everyone with the shift click. Including our fleet. And we can continue. Actually, we are also going to change our... As soon as possible, as soon as possible, we're also going to... as soon as possible, we're also going to change our fascist demagogue with the Karelian irredentist. And we're going to build more military factories in the 100% provinces and in our puppets as well. Do not forget this area, because they are often very well developed. Look at this. So this is a great place to build more military factories. And we can continue. Here is the motorized priority. We can accept limits on naval rearmament. When you get this event, accept. It's fine.
Of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude.
Keep training the new divisions as you get them.
Here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine.
Käskynne!
Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains.
Selvä!
To read it to you. The German Führer and Chancellor and the British Prime Minister have had a further meeting
Käskynne!
today and are agreed in recognizing that the question of Anglo-German relations is of the first importance for the two countries and for Europe.
Selvä!
As symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another. We are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted to deal with any other questions that may concern our two countries, and we are determined to continue our efforts to remove possible sources of difference and thus to contribute to assure the peace of Europe.
Now, as soon as we complete this focus, we're going to make some additional changes.
Valmiina!
First of all, we're going to pick extensive conscription. We're going to pick the military theorist. We are going to pick the military... We are going to pick the special forces doctrines for mountaineers. And here we are going right, again right, and finally left. We unlock all of them right away. We're going to change our offensive template to use mountaineers instead of infantry. We want it to be a 30 with 9. We want it to be a 30 with 9-4. We're also going to use Rangers, of course, and we're going to use anti-air. Then as soon as possible, we will also add the field hospital. We're going to save this. We're also going to change our defensive template by bringing it to a total width of 12. And using Rangers. And here too we want Rangers.
Käskystä!
Now we also want to build forts at the border with Germany, so only these two provinces here, and some anti-air in the same area. We want this to be our absolute priority.
Valmiina!
We also want to make sure that everyone is training. And we want to start a justification on Germany.
Valmiina! Valmiina!
Now make sure that your offensive divisions are training, because they will lose their previous training when you do that. And when you get the field hospital, make sure to add it to offensive. At 170 political power, we are going to pick the artillery genius.
Valmiina!
Now at some point around this time, you will be able to invite additional faction. Now at some point around this time, you will be able to invite to your faction additional countries. I would recommend doing so. You can kick them later if you're looking for the achievement Lone Wolf. But for now we can invite them. Especially it's particularly convenient to invite Hungary, so they will not join the Axis. As soon as possible... Well, not yet. Adjust this slightly. We're now going to pick, at 85 political power, we're going to pick the concealment expert. And you should also have enough army experience to pick superior firepower and a tactic. Around this time, you should also be almost done with the collaboration governments in Germany. So we are done. So we want... So at this point, we're going to keep one spy in Germany and the other two... Well, in this case, this one was injured, but it doesn't matter. We're going to use to spy on the Soviet Union. When spying on the Soviet Union... Well, I guess here it would be fine. And the other two spies we're going to use to spy on the Soviet Union. It's up to you where to place them. This is a convenient place, although there is a little bit of a risk that you cannot get the third collaboration government in time by the time you push them here. But up to you, just don't put them in the big cities. They are more likely to be captured. Yeah. I don't want these guys to die of attrition, though. Why are you dying of attrition? Okay, we're also going to set up our armies for the next part. We're also going to set up the army. We're also going to set up the armies for the next phase of the guide.
Käskynne. Käskynne.
We're going to use our offensive for an invasion of Germany. We're going to trigger our invasion from here.
Käskystä. Käskystä. Valmiina.
Groups of 2 to cover this area here.
Käskynne.
And I would send an additional, and the additional 2 I would send to Kiel.
Käskynne. 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 Käskystä. Valmiina. Käskystä.
12 defensive divisions. No, 12 defensive divisions will follow them right after the invasion, so they should be nearby.
Valmiina. Käskystä. Valmiina.
24 defensive divisions will be at the border with Germany here. Can still give them an offensive line though.
Valmiina. Käskynne. Selvä. Käskystä.
The remaining divisions are more or less evenly split. We'll recruit a bit more later. We'll cover the border against the Soviet Union. One to cover the northern part of the border,
Käskystä.
another one to cover the southern part of the border.
Valmiina. Selvä. Selvä.
All of these divisions will be with the 1st Marshal. We want them to aggressively execute battle plans, and we want to give them the maximum motorization priority. We can use this guy as our Marshal.
Selvä.
This is our best offensive general. For the other ones, look at defensive stats. It doesn't matter much which you pick.
Käskynne.
The 2nd Marshal we need to promote.
Valmiina. Käskystä. Käskystä.
Now, later on, he will have a total of 20 defensive divisions, 10 to protect this area, 10 to protect from naval invasions, and he will have all of the puppet divisions, like these ones here, which we're going to use initially at least to reinforce the northern part of the border against the Soviet Union, which will be under more pressure.
Käskystä.
We still want max motorization priority, and again, make sure that everyone is trained.
Käskynne. Käskystä. Käskystä! Valmiina! Selvä! Selvä!
Okay, we got our claim on Germany, but we're not going to use it just yet. First of all, we're going to pick the Commando Expert.
Selvä! Selvä! Valmiina!
Then we're going to stop training our navy and we're going to position it in here. We're going to need it later to fight the Germans.
Käskynne!
Oh, nice. We can also invite Latvia. Now, whenever we are ready, around March or latest April, in any case before you lose your claim, so make sure you check when the claim expires, it is time to fight Germany, our first big war and the most challenging of this run. So let's go. War on Germany. Now, as you declare war on them, you want your spy in Germany to be active. Otherwise, the spy network will not work. I would like it to stay there. Then we want to block the sea regions around us. We don't want actually something like this, except for this one, which we're going to use for the naval invasion. Actually, we need this one too, so I need to keep it open for now, but later on we want to block it. We're going to set our fleet on naval invasion support. Make sure they are on naval repair and engage when needed. And if you cannot get the naval superiority right away, join them into just one Doomstack. One Doomstack is more effective at that. And then trigger the naval invasion. Slow down maybe the speed a little bit.
Käskystä!
When you disembark here, remember that the absolute priority is taking a harbor. Yeah, I didn't want all of these people, but okay. If Lithuania refuses to give up Memel, then they will call everyone else in the faction against Germany. It's alright. It's not really ideal, but it's alright. Now we can stop this sea region and make sure to send the defensive units as soon as possible in here. In the early stages of the war, our goal here is to survive, not necessarily to push. But you can see that obviously our choice here will be to push for Hamburg and isolate as many German divisions as possible up here in northern Germany. But for now, we're just happy to burn their manpower and equipment defensively. As long as we fight along the coast, we have the support of the navy, and we have plenty of supplies. So pick doctrines whenever you can.
Keskusta.
Now at 100 political power, we're going to pick improved... At 100 political power, we will pick improved worker conditions. And we will build forts at the border with the Soviet Union. That means max forts in here and max forts along the entire border with the Soviet Union. We will also build anti-air, but only in the south here in Kalchala. This is our absolute priority in terms of buildings. We will also start recruiting the required amount of defensive units we need to fill the gaps. In our case, here we need 2 plus 4, so 6. And then we need another 20 to cover the additional armies that we will use later on. We're going to decrease the production of artillery to only 5. Support equip will go to 15, and infantry equip will be the new priority, so all future factories to it. At this point, of course, we also want to adjust trade and keep it at full capacity. Now, this phase of the war is very important, although we are playing it entirely defensively, as you can see. But if you go and look at the casualties, we got 15,000 casualties, and the German Reich already got 173,000 from us. So we are building up casualties and destroying their armies without fighting them. This is very convenient for us. When we feel like they are weak enough, we will trigger our offensive. A bit later, when they are weak enough, we will start our offensive. Italy is helping us against Germany. That's great. At 100 political power, we are going to pick the domestic film industry. And we're going to look into opportunities to start our first offensive against Germany. We also We also want to force deploy our last defensive divisions, assign them and train them. So 10 of them will be protecting the area of Leningrad, and the other 10 will be free to protect from naval invasions. Usually the naval invasions from the Soviet Union happen up here in the northern area, so I'm going to send them there to protect that coast. Just make sure to train them. And let's see what happens with our first offensive into the Germans. Now here the absolute priority is to rush down Hamburg. So we're going to try to do that. To stop these divisions up here, we're also going to trigger this offensive here. Oh, and things are looking very good right now for us. And not very good for the Germans at all. Okay, we already cut them off entirely here. It's time to destroy them.
Käskynne! Selvä! Käskystä!
Okay, once you wipe completely these divisions, we can set up the defensive army to cover the entire front now. Now keep in mind that we call these defensive armies, but since we're going for superior firepower and they have a lot of support companies, these armies will actually be incredibly good offensively too. They will burn some of our manpower, but they have the potential to destroy to completely destroy our enemies. Now, around this time, we probably have enough... around this time, your spy network is probably big enough to make the collaboration governments in the Soviet Union too. So we're going to send all of our spies in there, and we're going to start the collaboration governments on cooldown in the Soviet Union too. The next goal we have in here is to push the coastline and to the border with Poland up here. So we can encircle more German divisions in this area.
Käskystä! Selvä!
Going to repair the fleet a little bit since it was particularly damaged. So we get some fuel back as well.
Käskynne!
I think we're ready to push here. The Germans don't have much, so that's perfect for us.
Takka päälle Suomen poika! Käskystä! Käskystä! Valmiina!
At 50 political power, we can take war bonds.
Käskynne! Selvä! Takka päälle! Takka päälle, pohja poika!
Oh, perfect. We got another nice encirclement against the Germans. More German divisions will be destroyed in here. Now we can push the entire coastline against Poland and kill them all.
Keskystä! Keskystä!
You can speed up a little bit. Things are looking quite good here. Actually, I have more divisions than I expected. Let's try to take the harbor before they escape. This would be the usual, more or less, World War II. Actually, Germany is early for the ultimatum on Poland, but I don't think they will attack Poland because they are not really doing good. Usually they don't attack Poland when you're fighting them like this, because they realize it would be a suicide. Especially when their divisions are getting completely annihilated in this way.
Keskystä!
We can now plan the next offensive and bring Germany to an end.
Selvä! Selvä! Keskystä! Selvä! Keskystä!
Cool. Big push, a decisive one. Tough one at first, but we'll be fine in the end.
Keskynne! Keskystä! Kutia päähän!
We can take the extra stability very gladly.
Selvä!
We're now going to pick ground support. I'm slightly late, actually. And then at 50 political power, we can pick the anti-Soviet sentiment in Karelia. That will help when the Soviets attack us.
Käskynne!
Yeah, can we do the fucking collab? What's the problem with you? Now, since we have 3 collaboration governments in Germany, they will go down very quickly. So we just need to take some of the big victory points in here, this area, and Germany will be done. Now, the war may be slightly more challenging if you attack them and Lithuania gives up, so your faction doesn't join, but you can always call them if you want to. Okay, so now the only thing we need to pay attention to is, ideally, we do not want to capitulate Germany, which is very close now. So we're going to stop this offensive until the Soviets attack us. That's mainly for one reason, and it is, if we do that, the UK will guarantee us. And when the Soviet Union attacks us, the UK will be in the war against the Soviet Union together with us. We don't really want that. I'm not interested in having the UK with us. So I would prefer to have the Soviet Union against us before that. So we can get ready. As soon as we rush one of these big cities, we will take the win.
Selvä!
Let's just get ready, but not do it.
Valmiina!
Damn, we just destroy them so easily right now. Just click anywhere and they die.
Selvä!
Finally, okay, the Soviet Union is coming after us, and we are totally ready for it. The only thing we want to do here is we want to stop training our divisions, if we are still training them,
Käskynne!
but then let them come if they dare. They should attack us pretty soon. There we go. They attacked us. This is the Winter War. Now we want to make sure not to lose anything here. Our first line of defense is the most important. So if you see something red and you're a bit worried that they may push, maybe use a last stand command just in case. But then the other thing we're going to do here is we're going to take down Germany for good. There is nothing saving them anymore.
Käskynne!
Let's maybe make a save now. I think Germany may be already down. Yes, they are. So that's it. That is it for Germany. 100% of the war score. Germany is out of the picture. Now against Germany, we're going to puppet Czechoslovakia. We're going to take war reparations and resource rights. And then, since we have 3 collaboration governments, we can simply annex the rest of Germany. Of course, remember to take the navy as well. Very important. Let's confirm. Now what we're going to do at this point is, and this is actually entirely optional, this is up to you, but I like to kick everyone from my faction, so I'll kick all of these people away. I'll kick Hungary as well, I'll kick Austria as well. If you did everything correctly, you can now disband the faction. And this is useful for one reason in particular. Well, first of all, I don't like having people in my faction and we can annex them in this way in the peace conference. But more importantly, if you're looking to get the Lone Wolf achievement against the Soviet Union, you need not to be in a faction. So in this way, we can get the achievement as well. More convoys. More convoys. Look at the military. Look at the army experience we're getting. So now we are going to get ready for Italy and for Austria. We're going to start a justification on Italy right away, followed by a justification on Austria. It will take 30 days, but we cannot attack them anyway right now because we just kicked them from our faction. Then we are going to merge 12 defensive divisions into the 12 offensive and change them to offensive as well. So we want a total of 24 offensive divisions. We're going to prepare them at the border with Austria. And we're going to start training them. The other guys here are just going to follow behind. Now the other thing we want to do at this point is we want to set up our fleet so that ideally the Soviet cannot trigger naval invasions. So if possible, set them all on strike force and try to cover this area as well. Usually this is the only region in which they can trigger naval invasions. That's why we have our divisions up here. Remember that you can now import steel. No, never mind. From France, I guess.
Selvä.
Now, at this point, we should also be able to add the winter logistics company to our defensive units. Not right away, unfortunately, but almost. Now, I would pick they are not ready yet. We will create it, but just a little bit later. Let's keep an eye here, but things are looking quite good for us. I don't think the Soviets have any chances of breaking through. Especially after we pick the winter logistics. Now the Soviets have absolutely no hope. Okay, we got our claim on Italy. Now we're not actually going to wait for these divisions to be trained, so I'm going to stop the training. And we're going to start attacking Italy right away. I expect them to call Austria quite soon, otherwise we will use our claim as soon as we get it. And we can start a claim on Hungary as well at this point. Okay, our truce is until January, so we need to wait for a little bit longer here. Okay, Austria was called into the war against us, which means we can start our offensive. And I mean, of course, we are using mountaineers in the mountains. What do we expect, if not complete annihilation?
Pakka päälle! Utte!
We can now also pick the industrial concern, Tampella.
Pakka päälle, Suomen poika! Keskystä!
Okay, we got the claim on Hungary. We cannot attack them yet, though.
Valmiina! Valmiina! Keskystä! Valmiina!
Okay, we can now go after Hungary as well. Let's do it. Hungary is also in the Axis, so we can easily take them down.
Selvä! Valmiina!
Now, sometimes, very rarely, Hungary joins the USSR instead,
Keskynne!
in which case you will take them in the next peace conference. No big deal.
Valmiina! Keskystä! Selvä!
And Hungary is down. We can now take care of Italy very quickly.
Keskystä!
Let's keep an eye on the Soviet Union, but everything seems amazingly fine here. They are completely stuck. They are completely out of supplies. Just out of curiosity, let's check the casualties. Against the Soviet Union, we got 5,000 casualties, and the Soviet Union got 338,000. Just insane. Just insane.
Keskynne!
Oh, and by the way, now we can create a collaboration government in Germany. So let's go on and do that. It's not needed, it's not mandatory, it's entirely up to you. But if you do create a collaboration government, you can then import directly from them. Maybe. Why can I not? Yes, we can.
Keskystä! Valmiina!
Okay, let's go after Italy. The first priority here is getting to the coastline and getting Venezia. Otherwise, we'll be stuck with low supplies, which is a bit annoying.
Käskystä!
And well, what to say? When your mountaineers are OP and completely destroy everything, what is left to say? Other than make sure that your collaboration governments are being made on cooldown. Why don't you make them on cooldown, you stupid piece of shit? Let's do it again. It's good that I heard the sound of the collaboration government being made. Because no notification, not doing them on cooldown. Amazing, just amazing.
Valmiina! Valmiina!
Oh, and Italy is already in a civil war. Perfect. We're going to transfer the occupied territory, so we don't need to claim it in the peace conference. But since Italy is the last major remaining, or the last country remaining in the war, we're going to have to take them down fully, which means going all the way down to Palermo. Sometimes that can be slightly annoying, but it shouldn't be a problem. My suggestion, my recommendation would be to try and rush Palermo before they send too many divisions down there. And look at this, we already have all of the doctrines as well. Finland is insane. Insane. And it's time for Sissi.
Valmiina! Selvä!
Now let's hope that they are not too annoying here. Okay, this was the tricky part. If this is done, then we're fine.
Käskystä!
And we're going to get another peace conference very, very soon. I hope. There we go. Okay, now here we do have to share some of the war score, unfortunately, with France and with the UK. But that's not much of a deal since we are going to take them later. Now, what we're going to ignore in this peace conference is mostly Italy. And we're going to focus on Austria and Hungary instead. So first of all, we're actually going to puppet stuff in here. Libya, Somalia, all of this stuff down here we want to puppet. Then we're going to use the remaining points to puppet Austria, or as much of Austria and or as much of Austria as possible. We're going to contest them. We're going to take the rest of Austria. We're going to take what we can of Hungary as well. And that's it, we're quite satisfied. The remaining points we're going to use for the navy. Now, if we have anything left at all, we can use it to take stuff for Italy, but that's okay. The important thing is not to leave them Austria and Hungary. And resource rights from Hungary would be nice as well. Alright, we're quite happy with this. Let's confirm. Now the reason it is better to leave this stuff in Italy rather than Austria and Hungary is that the allies will change governments and force them to be democracies, but they will not annex them. While in Italy, they will annex them. These will be British occupation zones, which is better because when we take down the UK, we'll be able to annex them back. Now, as usual, although it's a bit less important in this guide, we're going to prioritize building in Italy and reducing their autonomy. Now, we don't really need their fleet because we have a decent fleet already, so this is just for emergencies. But just in case, let's do that and let's make it our highest priority. At this point, we are going to gather our fleet in the Netherlands, and what this means is that we will leave the area open for naval invasions from the Soviet Union. Unfortunately, there isn't much that we can do about that, because we really need our fleet for the invasion of the UK. So we will have to abandon this area for the time being, and potentially defend from a few naval invasions. We're going to start a justification on Belgium if needed, but Belgium is already in the Allies. In any case, Belgium is a good target. It's only 10 days. And France is the other potential target. So both of them or only one if you don't need both. In our case, Belgium is enough since they are in the Allies. We're also going to deploy all of our planes in here. We're not going to use them right now, but later on we will use them to get naval supremacy in the channel a bit more easily. Of course, we need to prepare our divisions to invade Belgium, and we're going to do it from the Netherlands. One army will stay back to defend from naval invasions. Now that we are less under pressure, we can probably use these divisions to protect from naval invasions in the north. And these divisions to protect from naval invasions in the south. Okay, never mind. Just stay there and repair. Yeah, as I mentioned, the Soviet Union immediately triggers naval invasions when they see an opportunity. So when you remove your fleet, you need to be ready to defend against them. Which is not a big deal. Alright, now at this point, before we attack the Allies, it could be a good idea to get a non-aggression pact with Japan. So we're going to improve relations. Maybe I will send them a spy on diplomatic pressure too. So that after we take down the Allies, we don't have to worry about Japan. Otherwise, as you know, Japan attacks these Indochina area. So that's a bit annoying. Okay, I think we are ready for Belgium. Let's go and fight the Allies. Of Of course, we need to call the Netherlands into this. And Belgium, as you know, Belgium doesn't last very long. Whoa, lasted a bit longer than usual. Very scary, Belgium. And what we care about here is taking down France almost as quickly as we took down Belgium. So let's keep going.
Valmiina! Valmiina!
Well, even less resistance than usual from France. Oh, by the way, how did that naval invasion go? Very well.
Käskynne!
And Paris will fall soon if anyone attacks it, possibly. And with it, France is down. Very good. Time to take care of the UK. Things are going very smoothly. As always, this run was tested several times just to be sure. Let's get our non-aggression pact with Japan now. Great.
Valmiina!
So now, for the invasion of the UK, which is always a little bit challenging, we made sure to unlock this technology, so we can invade with the full army here. At this point, we're going for groups of 4.
Herra upseeri!
From Dunkirk. From Dunkirk.
Selvä! Käskynne!
And from here.
Käskystä! Käskynne!
That's done. That's perfect. Now what we are going to do with these other divisions here is take care of the little pockets of France remaining.
Valmiina! Valmiina!
We're going to prepare our fleet in Dunkirk.
Käskystä!
There's nobody here.
Käskystä!
And we're going to prepare all of our planes in here. They will all be on air superiority and especially naval strike in the channel as soon as we trigger the naval invasion.
Käskynne! Käskystä! Käskystä! Käskynne!
What the fuck are these guys?
Käskystä! Valmiina!
Now, we don't have a very good air designer here, so I'm just going to pick more or less random stuff. Actually, we're also never going to use them. That's the other thing. So this doesn't matter.
Valmiina! Käskynne! Selvä. Selvä.
Okay, our naval invasion is ready, so it is the decisive time in each run. Naval invasion support, it's not there yet. Let's see. Okay, we got green sea, that's perfect. All of our planes in the channel. Let's make a save just in case before the UK. It's always a wise thing.
Selvä.
But then we can definitely trigger our naval invasion. Let's go. Now, after the naval invasion is triggered, I would recommend splitting your fleet into a few groups, setting them on convoy escort or on naval invasion support. It's up to you, both are fine. The important thing is you set them on never repair and always engage. This will completely destroy your fleet, but it will ensure a successful naval invasion, and that's all we care about.
Hakka päälle.
As usual, we're also going for a force attack to make sure we disembark quickly. We have a lot of divisions, so actually this is easier than usual. And it's going great. It's going really, really well. As you can see, our fleet is currently being completely destroyed. We don't care. Our divisions are on the ground. We don't want to waste any time. We just want to rush them as fast as possible. So right away, immediately trigger your naval invasion. Go. They will soon have a huge amount of divisions, especially in London. In fact, if we are fast, we may be able to encircle them, which is not needed, but it's fun.
Käskynne. Valmiina. Selvä.
Ooh, they're getting destroyed. The UK is getting completely destroyed. I think we can probably annex Italy, bring it to integrated puppet, at least. Now, technically, at this point, if you needed the Italian fleet, you could use it, although you need also to take Gibraltar in that case, which is annoying. Usually that's not required. As you can see, the UK is going down incredibly fast, so... Just out of curiosity, let's look at the insane stats on our divisions. 400 soft attack on these offensive mountaineers. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. Military production from now on is free. We have too much everything, so up to you. So actually, this stuff is quite useful, and I should have gotten it a bit earlier.
Käskys.
Well, the UK is being destroyed, demolished. Maybe easier than with tanks when I invade them with Germany. Easier with Finland than with Germany or the Soviet Union. This is how powerful Finland is. Let me make a save just before the war is over, but this is a very, very early Sea Lion from Finland. It is only June 1940 and the UK is down. 100% of the score. And you know what that means. It means that we take everything. And as usual, the same peace conference, I will annex these two regions here. We are not going to invade the US in this run, but in case we wanted, that's the best way to go. I am going to puppet this area here a bit differently, so I want Vietnam and so on. I don't want France because I believe this might have an impact on the demands from Japan. I'm not entirely sure. Then everything else, I will skip the peace conference for you. Everything else we just, well, let me actually do this. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Come on. No search option, no puppet all option. Come on. Instead of adding stupid focus trees, which do not work. Where is freaking Vietnam? Put them in alphabetical order at least. Well, British Burma, yes. British Malaya, yes. Okay, here is Vietnam. Vietnam, Cambodia. Where is Laos? Laos is probably only one province, so must be down here somewhere. No, they are not even sorted by debt. What are they sorted by? Where is the Republic of Laos? I guess I should know the flags very well. Then it would be easier. Oh, God. Fuck my life. Here it is. Okay, so here I'm going to puppet France as Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, because I think that might have an impact on what Japan does, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll also puppet British Burma and Malaya, but everything else, as you know, it's the same. So we just puppet everything, take resource rights, war reparations, and the Navy. So I can skip, so I will skip the peace conference for you. But not for you, watching the unedited version. You are here, and you will suffer with me. For a good 2 or 3 minutes, clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking again. Maybe the goal was to make it so tedious that you give up on taking the UK early. Instead of buffing the UK, they made this even more tedious. And then they also buffed the UK more recently, but that's another story. Navies, and we're done, finally. Okay, and welcome to Insanity, officially. Almost 800 factories in 1940 for our insane Finland. But we're not done yet. We have one last enemy ahead of us. One that looks challenging, that looks scary, but that will get completely demolished. Now, we are not going to get 3 collaboration governments, it seems. This is the second one, so... we're going to have to work with 2. So we're going to have to work with 2, and that will be more than enough. We have too many factories, we have too many things. We have too many, like it's literally absurd. Okay, that's fine. Let's go. Yeah, now we also have an insane army. No, this is the wrong guys. Yeah, our fleet even survived, surprisingly. Okay, it's time to take care of the Soviet Union, and of course we're going to use our mountaineers for it. And we're going to push from the area of Leningrad. This is an easy push for us. We can take a lot of juicy stuff in here. At this point, if you wanted these people to be part of the coalition and to take, if you wanted to take them in the peace conference, you can justify and declare on them too. It's only 10 days, so we can take Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Oh, right, I completely forgot about Poland. Poland sometimes is part of the Allies. This wasn't the case this time. So Poland didn't join. If Poland joins, that's a bit more annoying, because after taking down the UK, you also need to take down Poland. And then you will need to defend this area, but you can also push into the Soviet Union from this area. So Poland can make a bit of a difference. In fact, I think we will, let's do Poland. Let's do Poland. Let's assume that Poland was part of the Allies. So it's a bit more realistic. It's usually the case. So instead of justifying on these guys, I will justify on Poland. Okay, let me do this again. Sorry, guys. I will need to edit this out. Okay, now, to take care of the Soviet Union, you usually need to also take care of Poland, because usually Poland is part of the Allies. This wasn't the case this time, but to keep it consistent, we're going to justify on Poland, and we're going to attack Poland as well. We're going to do it from Soviet Germany, from Finnish Germany. Let's prepare our divisions. And with the giant fleet that we just got, we are going to make sure that the Soviets never get naval supremacy again, so they cannot trigger their naval invasions. Perfect. I think the Soviets will be out of here. Okay, we got our claim on Poland. Let's attack Poland. I'm curious to see if they will join the Soviet Union. Yeah, they will. Okay, interesting. Interesting to see the Soviet Union and Poland together. Very, very interesting. But we don't care too much. Except this thing is bugged. Of course it is. But it's okay. Okay, let's push into Poland. They're usually part of the Allies at this point of the run, but it doesn't really change much. And since we're fighting a major, you can also claim all of these other people here and take them into the same coalition. It's up to you. Technically, you could get a lot more than these. You could also get Romania, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria. We're going to stick to the bare minimum, Poland and probably these three here, the Baltic states, because why not? After that, we're going to focus on the Soviet Union. Speaking of which, we are already ready to push. We are ready. No, let me do that again. Speaking of which, we can already push the Soviet Union. We are very strong and they have no supplies whatsoever. So let me show you what these divisions can do. These small divisions here. Actually, no. Let me train them first. Then I will show you what they can do. The only annoying thing is if you are doing this while still at war with the Allies, you need to make sure to defend the coast and possibly defend the UK because they might counter-invade. So that's a bit annoying, but overall it's fine. You know what? Let's give us some supplies in here. Of course, buildings are free at this point. And sadly, we are researching everything about planes, but the run will be over before we get them. But still. I made it because in case you decide that you want more planes, you can take them. Oh, in case you decide you want to continue the run, planes are always good to have. Oh yeah, pushing Poland is a bit harder now because they are with the Soviet Union, that's true.
Selvä.
And by the way, we can now use our planes on cast duties with our main army.
Selvä. Käskynne. Käskystä. Valmiina. Selvä.
Poland is down. That's great news.
Selvä. Käskynne.
It's very bad news for the Soviets, which are now in a bad spot here.
Hakka päälle, pojan poika. Valmiina. Käskynne. Käskynne. Selvä. Käskynne.
So I think this would be the perfect time to give the Soviets some more bad news. Let's see what our defensive divisions are capable of doing offensively. So I'm going to start a push with all of them. Well, actually, these ones shouldn't push, but... And let's see what happens along this front. I see some red numbers, that's to be expected, but I also see some green numbers, which is very good. And I see some no numbers here because I forgot to give them an offensive command. The Soviets actually have a lot of divisions there, and they will not last very long. We are doing great here, so let's make sure to cover this front and potentially push in here too.
Käskynne.
While the Soviet Union is being melted away.
Käskystä.
Okay, we can now push in the Leningrad area as well. Please don't give me any more factories. I really don't know what to produce. Well, I guess anti-air is a good idea. Okay, Leningrad is already down. Lithuania is down.
Herra upseeri. Hakkaa päälle, Suomen poika.
Latvia is down.
Käskystä!
See why I don't want factions? Why having people in your faction when you can have them annexed? Or puppeted?
Käskynne!
Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a bit tempted to go after Romania as well. That's not part of the usual guide, but I am a bit tempted to do that because we are destroying the Soviet Union completely. Feels like it's a shame to leave them Romania. And Yugoslavia then at that point. Let's take Yugoslavia. So okay, Yugoslavia will be cold if they join the Soviet Union, so we'll need to take care of them from here probably. That's totally fine.
Hakka päälle!
Oh, nobody's here. Nobody's here, guys. You forgot this place. Don't forget this place. Don't forget about Estonia, guys. Come on.
Valmiina! Kutia päähän!
These guys are a bit in trouble here,
Tulta
actually.
munille!
Interesting.
Selvä! Hakka päälle, Suomen poika!
Okay, up in the north, we already completely destroyed them, so we can send another army down here. But I don't want to lose these guys, so let's try to save them. No, I don't think we're going to demand peace. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Okay, we got our claim on Yugoslavia. I'm not entirely ready to take them down yet, so let's take down these guys first, then we'll take care of them.
Valmiina! Käskynne!
Did we save them? We did. Perfect.
Hakka päälle, Suomen poika!
Oh my god, come on, go down. What are you waiting for? Okay, nice. Okay, now that Estonia is down, why not? Let's use our mountaineers to push into Yugoslavia. And let's take Bulgaria as well.
Käskystä! Hakka päälle, Suomen poika! Selvä! Käskystä! Selvä! Selvä!
Okay, I'll take Bulgaria into their faction. This is the Polish-Vietnamese war, by the way. What better description for what is going on? I mean, clearly, this is the Polish-Vietnamese war.
Valmiina!
Okay, let's take care of Yugoslavia. Do I need to call these people? They should not. Yeah, okay, I don't need to call them. Perfect. Oh yeah, this might be a little bit of an issue here, so we need to take care of this. So let's do something like this instead. Rearrange them slightly.
Selvä.
The fuck is this freaking civil war in here? That's very annoying.
Valmiina.
Well, while we are distracted, they are just falling apart completely.
Valmiina. Selvä.
Okay, okay, call them.
Käskynne. Valmiina. Käskystä. Hakkaa päälle. Selvä.
Guys, can you please not go completely crazy when I'm not looking?
Käskystä.
I mean, I see you're in a hurry to push them. That makes sense, and we are doing good. But in any case, Yugoslavia is down.
Valmiina.
Maybe I should clarify that most of this is just for fun, because we could have just taken down the Soviet Union.
Käskynne.
So the vast majority of what you're seeing now is just for fun.
Käskystä.
But at the same time, our defensive divisions are easily taking down the Soviet Union and pushing Moscow. While our OP mountaineers are in here, chilling.
Tulta munille.
No, not really chilling, pushing Bulgaria and pushing Romania. Should we take Greece as well? Let's take Greece as well. Fuck it, why not?
Selvä.
Did we take many casualties in this war? Probably a bit, because we're pushing with infantry, but not even that many. And this is the power, the real power of superior firepower. So when you want to push with the small infantry divisions like we are doing now, then superior firepower is just insane.
Selvä. Tulta munille.
Okay, want Albania as well. I cannot do that yet. Why? Yeah, I don't think that's going to save you, boys. They are falling one after the other so quickly, completely destroyed, and Moscow is already under our control now. Soviet Union must be fairly close to capitulating. We got 2 collaboration governments. We could have gotten a third one actually at this point, but it's okay. The funny thing about this war is that I'm not even fighting it. I'm focusing elsewhere and just destroying them completely. Look at these. Look at the encirclements they're getting for me. That's amazing. Now we need to be slightly careful now because with wars in America there could be a new faction arising. So let's see if... yeah, Romania doesn't exist. See if we can get these guys easily. Okay, Comintern, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Big encirclements without doing anything. What's better than that? Okay, these guys don't know what to do. I have something to do for you. Just push here. Like, you feel so powerful. And by the way, we are doing this technically without air superiority. Now we got some planes, but most of this was done without air superiority, which makes it even crazier. I don't know, do you see anything else we can take? I mean, we already took almost everything in here. Spain we can take later on if we wanted to. Turkey is annoying. We would need to invade them. I don't want to do that. And this war is almost over. So I think we're fine. Albania is down. And with Stalingrad, I think the Soviet Union will be down. So let's rush Stalingrad as we destroy them completely. Yeah, 261,000 casualties, but now we can afford them. And the Soviet Union got 4 million. Oh, I think that's it, boys. I think that's it. Yes, we didn't even take Stalingrad. Soviet Union just goes down under the pressure of the Nordic Empire. Another 100% war score, another peace conference going our way. We're going to take navies and we're going to puppet everyone. If you have 3 collaboration governments in the Soviet Union, unlike us, we only got 2, you can also annex them and release them as a collaboration government. There we go. Done. The game is thinking, the game is broken. And the game is rightfully broken because in January 1941, this is what we control. Do you know the definition of insanity? It is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it is exactly what I do when I make my country guides. I test these runs over and over and over again to make sure they are absolutely consistent. That's a bit crazy and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel. All of these things really help the channel. It looks like small things, but they really matter. But the other thing that is insane here is what we were able to achieve with Finland. Starting as a minor and getting in 1941 to controlling all of the world, or the part that matters at least, the part that we wanted, with 1,235 factories, an unstoppable army made of this insanely powerful mountaineer template with line artillery, and 409 soft attack. But especially, what Gary does against the Soviet Union was this defensive, fake defensive template. Looks like a defensive template, but it is an insanely good offensive template. Making use of support companies, rangers, the superior firepower doctrine fully unlocked, the special forces doctrines for mountaineers, and also these special, unique Finnish support companies. Guys, this guide was a lot of fun for me to make, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Thanks to the member who requested it. I probably wouldn't have played Finland without your request. So thank you, because this was really amazing and a lot of fun. A lot of new content is coming to the channel, so I will see you guys soon. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!